Okay, so the first video I'm going to show you is to kind of recap what I told you in class, but to kind of show you in person, or I mean on this video. When you're working with knits, no matter how stretchy they are, you want to make sure that you notch them using thread, okay, like we talked about, because you don't want to clip into your knit because it will eventually just kind of, they would call it like a run or pull apart and rip. So you want to make sure you use your tailor tacks like this to line up your notches. And then in this video, I'm going to show you how you can combine a really soft, this is a bamboo knit, doesn't have tons of stretch. These are like what we call moderate two-way stretches, but you see I hand basted them all together, okay? And this is the trick to success with your knits, and with the exception of the armholes, like I showed you in class, we had to kind of just tailor tack them together and then sew them together because it's really hard to stretch your knits together. This is when you have like the moderate stretch and they're the same, either the same stretch or same fabric. So after I've done that, I'm going to show you on the serger. But remember, you guys also are, some of you are going to be using the the lightning bolt stitch on the regular machine. But it would be the same thing. And your pattern includes a 3/8 inch seam allowance that's built in, which is different than when you pattern wovens. So keep that in mind. And I'm going to slide this under my serger. I'm using a 4th thread, which has a safety stitch. So it's when you're assembling knits and you need a lot of strength, I want you to consider how many threads you would use. In this case, I'm going to use 4. Turn my machine on. I was trying not to use that light, but okay. So now one of the other things with the serger is serger has a blade, but I don't want you to think of it as, oh, that's how I'm going to cut. You already have seam allowance on here. It's really just for trimming little edges that may have, when you cut it, were sticking out or something. Okay, and you notice I'm not pulling at all. I'm not stretching. This is different from insetting the sleeve. So I'm going to just let the machine do what it needs to do, and by hand basting it together, nothing will shift on you. If you don't hand baste and you just pull out you put pins, and then as you pull them out, the pins are going to, the fabric's going to stretch because you've taken your pins out. And it's not accurate enough with the pins anyway. So I'm just going to pull, and notice also that I put my basting farther away than the 3/8 stitch because I don't want you to serge over your basting stitches. It'll just be terrible to take out. So I went in about a 1/2 inch, maybe a little bit more, and my stitch is 3/8 on this serger. Just going to show you, I wanted to show you like a long stretch to show you how it does not get pulled or stretched out of shape. Down here. And then when you end your serging, you want to make sure that you leave enough, what's called like running the tail off, which you wouldn't do on your regular machine, on your home machine. So I'm going to let go to the end. And then I would recommend running off maybe 4 to 5 inches. And then you can trim it close to the edge of your garment, but don't trim this tail here. Okay, you just want to leave that like that. And then I'm going to take out my basting stitch. Remember, when you baste, you don't want to use knots because then you can't pull it out. You just want to be able to easily remove your basting stitches like that. Okay, and then you can see the stitch is nice, right? And I've done a really thin knit, a bamboo silk knit with this Ponte knit, and you can see it looks really beautiful together, and I'm pulling it and you shouldn't be seeing any of the seams. And then the stitch itself should be formulated like this. Right? The tension is all good. You want to make sure that there's no like weird looping in the tension, okay? And this is how the back should look. Okay, so in the next video I'm going to show you about the lightning stitch with the hand stitching again. So you'll have at least have a reference to that